For the next 3 days, commit to changing the way you talk to yourself. The words you speak to yourself can shape how you feel and act in ways you may not even realize. When you tell yourself you're not good enough or that things are too difficult, those thoughts can hold you back. But when you choose to speak with encouragement, to remind yourself of your abilities and worth, you begin to open up new possibilities for yourself. For the next 3 days, start treating yourself like you would a friend who's in need of support. Tell yourself that you are capable, that you can face challenges, and that you deserve success. It might sound easy, but there's real power in this shift. When you speak kindly to yourself, you'll notice that your attitude changes. You'll feel more confident, more driven, and more ready to take on any obstacle that comes your way. This doesn't mean ignoring life's difficulties, but it means facing them with a mindset that believes in your ability to overcome them. Give it a try for just 3 days. You'll begin to notice small changes in your thoughts, your actions, and the way you approach life. The way you talk to yourself can truly change the way you live your life. Every single day, there's a conversation happening. It's not with your friends, not with your family, but with yourself. Most of the time, you don't even notice it, but it's happening all the time. Inside your mind, you're talking to yourself, telling yourself things like, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, or this is just too hard, you might not even be aware of it, but those words are powerful. They influence how you feel, how you act, and what you believe is possible for you. Think about it. When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Is it a positive thought, or is it a feeling of dread or fear? Most of us have an automatic inner voice that tells us what we can't do, what we're not good enough for, and why something is too difficult. It's easy to fall into this pattern of negative self-talk. But here's the truth, this inner voice controls everything in your life. It's the voice that decides if you succeed or fail. It decides if you grow or stay stuck. The way you talk to yourself influences everything. It shapes your thoughts, your actions, and your outcomes. Now, here's the secret that no one really talks about. The way you speak to yourself determines your future. The things you tell yourself shape the path you walk on. If your inner voice is filled with negativity and doubt, guess what? Your life will follow that path. You'll start believing that success is for other people, not for you. You'll believe that you can't handle challenges, that you don't deserve happiness, and that things are just too hard. And when you believe that, you act in ways that match those beliefs. You hold yourself back. You don't try new things. You play small because your inner voice is telling you that's all you can do. But here's the flip side. If you start to speak to yourself differently, everything changes. What if instead of telling yourself that you can't, you start telling yourself, I can do this? What if you remind yourself that you are worthy, capable, and strong? What if you speak to yourself the way you would speak to your best friend, encouraging, kind, and full of belief in their abilities? Something incredible happens when you do this. Your reality begins to change. When you speak positively to yourself, you stop holding yourself back. You start believing in your potential. You start taking action, even when things feel difficult, because your inner voice is telling you that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. Your actions will align with that belief. You'll push through obstacles instead of giving up. You'll keep moving forward, even when the road gets tough, because you know that you are strong enough to handle it. This change in the way you speak to yourself doesn't happen overnight. It's not a magic trick. But if you make a conscious effort to change the way you talk to yourself, even for just a few days, you will begin to notice a difference. You will begin to feel more confident, more motivated, and more capable. The negative thoughts that once held you back will start to fade, and in their place, you'll find the belief that you are capable of achieving great things. It's simple, but it's also powerful. The way you speak to yourself is the foundation of everything. It's the starting point for everything you do and everything you become. So pay attention to your inner voice. If it's full of negativity, challenge it. Change the way you speak to yourself, and watch how your life starts to change with it. The power to change your reality is in your words. Choose them wisely. Think about a time when you were on the edge of giving up. Maybe you were tired, frustrated, or felt like you just couldn't keep going. And then, out of nowhere, someone said a few simple words to you. Maybe it was something like, you got this, or don't stop now. You're so close, and suddenly something changed inside of you. You felt a spark of energy. You felt stronger. You found the strength to keep going. Those few words made a huge difference, right? They lifted you up when you needed it the most. That's the power of words. Now imagine if you could do that for yourself every day. What if you could be the one to encourage yourself? What if for just 3 days you could speak to yourself like you were your own biggest supporter? What if you could believe in yourself just a little bit more? It doesn't take much to make a difference. A little belief, a little encouragement can go a long way. You don't need a big motivational speech to change your life. You don't need some huge life event to give you that push. You don't need millions of dollars or perfect circumstances. All you need is to change the way you talk to yourself. Imagine if every time you faced a challenge, instead of thinking, I can't do this, you thought, I can do this. Imagine every time you felt tired or frustrated, you told yourself, I'm stronger than I think. I can push through this. Changing your words, even just a little, can change how you feel. It can change the way you see the world and your place in it. When you speak positively to yourself, you start to believe in your own potential. It's like planting a seed of confidence in your mind, and over time it grows. Your actions start to follow your thoughts, and suddenly you're moving towards success without even realizing it. For just 3 days, try this simple experiment. Be your own biggest fan. When something goes wrong, instead of beating yourself up, encourage yourself. If you mess up, don't tell yourself you failed. Instead, say, it's okay, I'll do better next time. When you feel tired or like giving up, remind yourself, I've got this. I can handle more than I think. Speak to yourself like you would to someone you love. Support yourself in the same way you would encourage your best friend when they're struggling. It's amazing how much power your words have over your life. It's not just about being positive for the sake of it. It's about creating a mindset that believes in growth, resilience, and the ability to overcome obstacles. When you speak to yourself with kindness, encouragement, and belief, you shift your energy. You'll notice that you feel more capable, more motivated, and more focused. You don't need anything special to start this. No expensive tools or programs, no big life changes. All you need is to change the way you talk to yourself. If you can change the conversation inside your head, you can change the way you live. So for the next 3 days, make a promise to yourself, speak words of encouragement. Believe in your ability. Support yourself like you would support the person you care about most. Watch how your energy shifts. Watch how your mindset changes. Watch how your life begins to transform. It all starts with the words you choose to say to yourself. When you start believing in yourself, everything begins to change. Your way of thinking shifts. Instead of seeing all the things that could go wrong, your mind starts to look for what could go right. You begin to see new paths, new possibilities. Your thoughts change from I can't to I can, and suddenly you're ready to take action. And that's where real change happens. When you believe you can do something, your body, your energy, everything inside of you aligns with that belief. You start moving in the right direction. It's not magic. It's about taking control of your own mindset. When you start telling yourself you can succeed, you begin to believe it. And belief is powerful. It changes how you act, how you face challenges, and how you handle setbacks. Instead of giving up, you push through. Instead of quitting, you keep going. Your actions change because your mindset has changed. Now, you might think this is just another piece of advice to think happy thoughts and everything will magically improve. But this isn't about just being cheerful or pretending everything is fine. This is about changing your brain's focus. It's about training yourself to see what's possible, not what's impossible. It's about believing that you are capable and that you are worthy of success. And this change doesn't happen overnight, but with just a few days of positive self-talk, you'll start to notice your mindset shift. Instead of waiting for things to go wrong, you'll start expecting things to go right. And that shift in expectation is where your real growth begins. For just 3 days, try this simple exercise every time you face something difficult, whether it's a tough day at work, a problem with a friend, or a challenging personal situation. Stop for a moment. Look in the mirror and say to yourself, I've got this. Say it loud and clear, I can handle this. I am strong. I am capable. Don't just say these words, feel them. Let those words sink in. Let them fill you up. When you talk to yourself like this, when you speak with real belief, your brain starts to believe it too. It's not about pretending everything is perfect or forcing yourself to be happy all the time. It's real training. Think of it like lifting weights at the gym. When you lift weights, your muscles get stronger over time. The more you practice, the more strength you build. Positive self-talk works the same way. The more you tell yourself you're strong and capable, the stronger your mind becomes. And a strong mind can handle just about anything that comes its way. Now let's be real for a second. The world around you is full of distractions. Social media, the news, and everyone telling you what you should do or who you should be. It's easy to get lost in all the noise. Everyone seems to have an opinion on what's best for you. But here's the truth, the most important voice you need to listen to is your own. The world will keep throwing opinions at you, but the one that matters most is the voice that comes from within. You need to hear yourself say, I am enough. I am capable. I am worthy. These are the words that have the power to change everything. You don't need anyone else's approval. You don't need to compare yourself to others. When you start saying these things to yourself, you start to believe them. And when you believe them, you start living them. It's easy to focus on what you don't have or what's not going right. It's easy to think about all the mistakes you've made or all the things you haven't done yet. But that's not the mindset that helps you grow. The mindset that helps you grow is the one that tells you, I can do this. It's the mindset that tells you, I have the strength to get through this. No matter what, this mindset doesn't look at failure as the end. It sees failure as part of the process. It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up and doing your best, no matter what. For 3 days, make it a habit. Every time you face a challenge, look in the mirror and remind yourself of your strength. Remind yourself of your ability to overcome. It may feel a little awkward at first, but trust me, it works. The more you do this, the more you'll start to feel a shift inside of you. You'll feel more confident. You'll feel more capable. You'll feel like you can take on anything life throws your way. And remember, this isn't just about being positive for the sake of being positive. It's about building a mindset that supports your success. It's about training your brain to see opportunities instead of obstacles. When you start talking to yourself like someone who's capable of achieving great things, your mind will start to think like that person. And when your mind starts to think like that, your actions will follow. You'll start to take steps toward your goals with confidence. So give it a try. For just 3 days, speak to yourself with belief. Remind yourself that you are strong, you are capable, and you are enough. You'll be amazed at how much this simple practice can change your life. For the next 3 days, give yourself the gift of believing in your potential. It's a small change that can lead to big results. Every day, talk to yourself as if you were the person who will make all your dreams come true, because guess what? You are that person. You have everything inside of you to reach your goals, but it starts with the way you think and speak to yourself. Just 3 days. That's all it takes to begin shifting the way you see yourself. It might sound simple, but this small change can make a huge difference. When you begin to believe that you are capable of more, your actions will follow. And once that shift happens, it doesn't stop there. It continues to grow. It spreads into everything you do and every choice you make. You'll start showing up differently, not just for others, but for yourself. I'm not saying that everything will be perfect after 3 days. Life isn't about perfection. But here's what I do know: your mindset will be stronger. You'll start seeing challenges in a new light. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by obstacles, you'll begin to see them as opportunities to grow. Problems will no longer feel like roadblocks, they will feel like chances to learn and improve. The way you talk to yourself will change your perspective, and your perspective will change your world. Most of the time, we hold ourselves back with doubt. We tell ourselves we're not good enough, we're not ready, or that it's too late. But when you choose to believe in your own potential, that doubt starts to fade away. You stop questioning whether you can do it and start knowing that you can. Trusting yourself becomes easier because you've started treating yourself with respect and belief. This change doesn't just affect the way you think about yourself, it affects everything you do. Think about it. When you trust yourself, you take action. You don't hesitate. You move forward with confidence, knowing that no matter what happens, you can handle it. And when you start trusting yourself, the people around you will start trusting you too. They will see that you believe in your own abilities, and that will inspire them to believe in you as well. Your confidence becomes magnetic. It attracts opportunities, positive energy, and the right people into your life. Over the next 3 days, try to make a conscious effort to change how you talk to yourself. When you face a challenge, instead of saying, "I can't do this," say, "I can handle this." When you feel unsure about something, tell yourself, "I'm capable. I have the skills to make this work." It might feel strange at first, but stick with it. The more you practice this, the more natural it will feel. Soon those words of encouragement will become second nature. And when that happens, you'll be amazed at the way your mindset begins to shift. You'll start to notice things happening in your life that you didn't expect. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach will start to appear. The people around you will begin to treat you differently, not because you've changed on the outside, but because you've changed on the inside. And that inner change, that shift in your belief, will start to show in everything you do. It will affect your work, your relationships, and how you approach challenges. You'll stop seeing yourself as someone who can't and start seeing yourself as someone who can. Remember, it's just 3 days. 3 days to start changing the way you see yourself. 3 days to start believing in your own potential. But once that shift happens, it won't stop. It will continue to grow, and before you know it, you'll look back and realize how far you've come. Trust in yourself, and watch how the world starts to trust you right back. You've got this. The secret to living a life of greatness doesn't come from the outside world. It doesn't come from the perfect job, the right connections, or even the amount of money you have. True greatness begins from within. It starts with the conversation you're having with yourself every single day. That's the real foundation of everything you want to achieve in life. The way you speak to yourself will shape your reality more than anything else ever will. Now, here's the key. If you make that inner conversation positive, encouraging, and full of belief just for 3 days, you will begin to unlock a life you never thought possible. It sounds simple, but it's incredibly powerful. It's like a seed being planted in your mind. For the first time, you'll start to see yourself in a new light as someone who can take on challenges, someone who is capable of more than they ever imagined. You'll begin to notice opportunities instead of limitations. That's when the real change begins. So are you ready to speak differently to yourself? Are you ready to start seeing yourself in a way that pushes you towards success? Are you ready to believe that you are worthy of all the good things life has to offer? The power is in your words. Every word you say to yourself has the ability to lift you higher or pull you down. When you choose words that are kind, supportive, and full of belief, you start to feel different. You'll start acting differently. And when you act with belief, you take different actions, you make choices that move you closer to your dreams. You might be thinking, this sounds too simple, but believe me, it works. When you constantly feed yourself negative thoughts, telling yourself that you're not good enough, that things will never change, or that you can't do something, your brain starts to believe it. You start to hold yourself back before you even try. But when you start speaking to yourself with belief, you begin to create a new mindset. You start telling yourself, I am capable, I can do this, I have what it takes, and soon enough, you'll begin to see yourself as someone who can overcome anything life throws at them. You don't need a big event, a grand plan, or a major change in your life to start seeing results. All you need is to change the way you talk to yourself. It's the small, everyday words that matter most. The conversations you have with yourself are more powerful than anything anyone else can say to you. When you make that conversation a positive one, you'll notice that your confidence grows. Your actions will follow your words. Instead of feeling defeated when things get tough, you'll begin to rise up with confidence. You'll approach challenges with a mindset that says, I've got this. Imagine what could happen if you treated yourself like your biggest supporter. What if, every time you faced a challenge, you looked in the mirror and said, I am strong, I am capable, I can handle this. For just 3 days, try it. Look yourself in the eye and speak to yourself with kindness, belief, and encouragement. You'll be amazed at how much that changes your energy, your attitude, and your actions. The truth is, you hold the power to shape your life. It all starts with your inner conversation. When you change the way you speak to yourself, everything changes. It's the first step toward living the life you've always dreamed of. And it all begins with a simple shift in the words you say to yourself. Remember, the power is in your words. Use them wisely. As you finish reading this, I want you to remember one thing: the conversation you have with yourself is the most important one you'll ever have. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment or a big change in your life. All you need is to start now, with the words you choose to speak to yourself today. If you can make a habit of speaking to yourself with kindness, encouragement, and belief, you will be amazed at how much stronger, more confident, and capable you become. For the next 3 days, commit to changing your inner dialogue. Remind yourself over and over that you are strong, that you are capable, that you can handle whatever comes your way. It might feel a little strange at first, but stick with it. Every time you catch yourself thinking or saying something negative, replace it with something positive. Tell yourself, I've got this, I am enough, or I am worthy of success. Little by little, those words will start to shape your mindset, and your actions will begin to follow. You might not see everything change overnight, but trust me, the shift will start to happen. You'll begin to feel a new sense of strength inside you. Your thoughts will become more positive, your attitude will shift, and you'll start taking steps toward the life you want to live. And when you begin trusting yourself, you'll notice that the world around you starts to trust you too. Remember, greatness is not something that comes from outside. It's something that grows from within. You have everything you need to achieve it, starting with the way you speak to yourself. So go ahead, take those 3 days. Speak to yourself like the person you were always meant to be. Your future is waiting, and it starts with the words you say today.